Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Vlog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? And welcome to the One Man Low Council. How is everyone doing over on DLive and on YouTube? Captain K-Man, Captain the K-Man, what's going on, good sir? Welcome back. Over on YouTube, we got Father Christopher. Hail, Father. We got Robert Frey. We got Mark Lazurth in the chat as well. Griffin Turbo is here. G-Monkey76. Zoomed. 1975. John Cocktustone. Hello. Interesting name there. Slash and Neons. What's going on, bro? Soul Assassin's here. Stream Elements is live and well. HyperNex13 is here. Alex McCarthy says, howdy, Odin. How's it going? I got 90s X-Men cartoon on the TV. Well, someone's got their Disney Plus subscription open. I can see Alex McCarthy. Don't worry, my wife made me get it too, sadly. Andres Hernandez, what's going on? Andres Hernandez, what's going on, Andres? Peter Sharon is here as well. Laura, Ryan stole my fan fiction story. How is it going, Laura? Stephanie B., the general of the Valks is here saying, please hit the like for great karma. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Super Anime Gamer says, hey, what is up, my dude? What is going on, Super Anime Gamer? How are you doing, good sir? David S., how's it going? How is it going? Who else we got in the chat? HyperNex13 says, I love to see Elizabeth Banks getting triggered. Me too. CW Trixie, what's going on, man? Yeah, it's wonderful to see what's going on right now, as you can see in the title. One of the things we're going to be talking about, of course, is the Charlie's Angels box office. So for those that have not been following, for the Monday box office returns, it barely made over $500,000 in the Monday after its opening weekend. Keep in mind that films like Ford v. Ferrari got a couple of $1 million on its Monday. What's going to be interesting to me is going to be how much it makes today, because Tuesdays are always discounted at a lot of theaters where you get cheaper tickets, you get cheaper popcorn, etc. So you usually see an increase in ticket sales, an increase in box office revenue on Tuesdays compared to any other day in the week. It's going to be interesting to see if people are actually going to want to go out of their way to see the film for cheaper on Tuesdays, and if enough of them will be wanting to go out for them to actually make a decent sum of money. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm wondering if they can at least make over $1 million in a day, because if they're making $500,000 on the Monday after their release, oh man, with films like Frozen 2 coming out this weekend, I do not see a world where that film makes profit. Mark Lazar says, did you see that Eric Swalwell broke wind live on national television, and MSNBC tried to say it was a coffee dragged on a table? Well, I have certain thoughts about that whole debacle. For those that have not seen the clip, it's pretty great. And I'm not saying it's conspiracy. I'm not diving on MSNBC's side. I'm not going to defend them because they've done a lot of terrible things. But I'm not exactly sure if it's real. And the reason why I say that is because even though it is on the MSNBC website, there's just something about it that doesn't sound natural. It just doesn't sound right. And so it's not that I don't want it to be true. It's not that I don't honestly think that it could. It's not like I refuse to believe it could ever happen. It just seems so random, and it just seems so out of place that I don't know. It's hard to accept, especially with the level of the sound you get on the fart. It sounds as if the microphone is right next to his ass. And that just doesn't make any sense to me, right? So I have my issues with that. I'm not saying that it was faked or anything like that. But what I do think is hilarious is the amount of effort that MSNBC is doing to try and defend him. It's like, they could have just ran with it saying, oh yeah, it was that, ha ha ha, it's so funny, and then everything would have blown over, literally. No pun intended. But instead, they had to do the whole breaking of the wind nonsense, and now here we are where we are, where it's just making them look worse than what they already did. But I have seen this clip, and all I can say is this much. Whether it's real or not, and again, it's a fart. Mark, the one thing I will say is that them trying to say it was a coffee mug makes me think that they're lying about it and that it is real, because that's not the sound that a coffee cup makes when it's being dragged across a table. That was the sound of a fart. Anyone that's ever been in a high school classroom knows what a fart sounds like, especially when it's in a public area. So it was a fart. But I still have, of course, my doots. I have my doots about whether it's real or not. Sasha Neon says, please, I was hitting the like button before it was even a button. Damn. We got Hipster Slicer in the chat going on right now. Alex Martinez says, hello there. Also, you shouldn't call yourself the low council. At the very least, you're a mid-council, or in the highest of all halls of Valhalla. Yeah, it's a name that was chosen. I think we've gotten to the point where it's been almost a year since the low council started. And so it's stuck. And so I like being called the low council. I don't feel any less. I don't feel any less here. Let us see here. What's going on in the chat? Orange Chat Reviews says, I hope you are well. I hate myself right now. Had to get the mouse app. Was unable to watch Mandalorian any other way, but it's a small sacrifice. My boycott stands 99%. Orange Chat Reviews, man. There are ways. There are ways of accessing it. Alleged ways of accessing it, man. One of which I may have used for the first episode before my wife made me get it. But yeah, man, I'm not going to hate you for that. I might give you crap for it, but I'm not going to hate you for it because, hey, my wife made me get it. Super Anime Gamer says, same stuff as always, just a different day, but I'm good. Thanks. Glad to hear that you are doing well. Hyper X13 says, I pray nothing bad happens during Black Friday. May the force be with those who want to go to the stores. Me too, man. And Black Friday has always been an interesting animal because I don't think I've ever been in the store on any given Black Friday. And you all know I'm friends with John Flickinger over on the Flickpick channel. Please go subscribe to his channel. He's awesome. You're probably already subscribed to him because he's incredible. But the one thing that I've always wanted to do is do Black Friday videos because I've always seen his and other YouTubers' coverage of it, and I'm like, it just looks like so much fun. If I was their friend and I could hang out with them doing that, I would love to film that. But unfortunately, I'm going to be home. I say unfortunately, I'm going to be happy to be home spending time with family for Thanksgiving, so I will not be able to spend any time with him on Black Friday. But he's even still telling me, he's like, dude, you need to still go to the store, man. You need to go in there. You need to film it. You need to show the people what's going on. But yeah, it always has terrified me. My wife used to work in retail, and she worked basically at a store where they have a lot of Black Friday sales. And to say that her experience was negative would be an understatement of the century. At one point, she had to get up and stand on... So, at checkout, they've got the little belt that brings all your stuff. So she had to stand on that basically to yell at all the people because they were basically crowding all of the cashiers and acting like animals. Like, that's the one part I hate about Black Friday is that it brings out the worst in people. The fact that we have people that die every single year just frustrates me to hell. Because it's just stuff. It's just stuff. It's not life or death, and yet people treat it that way, and it's really sad. It's really sad. Not to say, it's like, not I'm not going to say, oh, I'm high and mighty, I never buy things on Black Friday. I do, from the safety of my home, where they have almost the exact same deals online with free shipping. So, but I might have to go into a store this year just to experience it. Not going to go right when it opens, of course, but sometime during the day, perhaps. Alex McCarthy says, I mean, they all talk out of their asses anyway, hashtag Farkey. That is a true statement. That is a true statement, that's for sure. Let us see. Grandmaster Yoda says, your dream might be true. Joker is only $33 million from kicking out Aladdin from the top 5. Yeah, and it's slowing down a lot, though. Joker is making about $400,000 or so during the week, which is not terrible for it being out for over a month now. That's incredible that it's still making that much money, but it's running out of theater space now. They're starting to take a lot of theaters off of commission, or rather, they're starting to take a lot of theaters out of it. And, so my D-Lab people are telling me, so apparently Lord Doomcock just went live. Of course he did. Hail Lord Doomcock. But seriously, man, come on. You had a celebration stream like last week. You're having another celebration stream? Come on, bruv. But congratulations to Lord Doomcock. He's at 95,000 subscribers. That's amazing. Love that man. Such a cool dude. But Captain K-Man, we got Captain Dean Heist, Captain Mr. Roy over in the D-Live chat. Forest Live 91 is over there as well. And everyone's saying hail to Doomcock. Congrats to Doomcock. Absolutely. Super Anime Gamer says, even if it is fake, the prospect of it being real and the fact that the internet blew up about it is hysterical and enough for me. Hey, Super, I'm right there with you. I think it's hilarious. I love all the memes, the GIFs, all the stuff that's being produced by this. I think it's fantastic. I hope that it is confirmed later on to be real. I think it'd be hilarious for this dude to come out and say, yeah, it was real. I'm sorry I lied to my family. And it would be hilarious if it was all over a fart that all of this hoopla came to be. But Grandmaster Yoda, getting back to your point about Aladdin, yeah, I hope that it passes Aladdin. I don't think it's gonna. I don't know if it has another $33 million left in the tank though. It's been out for over a month now. It's been out for like almost 40 days at this point. I mean, it's getting to the $1 billion mark was victory enough. So, Zach Gregg says that was almost a shark. Yeah, that's about right. Sasa Dion says just glad October is over and no more Upside Down Council. HyperX13 says, by the way, Princess Mononoke was fantastic. Soul still holds up for me. Unfortunately, there were annoying kids sitting beside me who wouldn't stop sipping drinks obnoxiously. That's ridiculous. You would think that would be the movie that they wouldn't go to. I'm assuming that it was a dubbed version, because if they were in there with a subtitled version, I don't think they would have stayed there very long, because they probably would have gotten bored pretty quickly and would have left, because I have to read. Kids these days, right? So I'm assuming it's the dubbed version. So I'm very sorry that had to happen to you, though. I'm really sorry to happen. Father Christopher Miller, hail Father, says, seen the Invisible Man trailer yet? CBR called it more toxic and dangerous than Joker. Yeah, I did, and I just, I don't care for it. I don't think it looks that impressive. I don't really want to have another remake of that film. I feel like it's such a classic, and I'm just tired of Hollywood having to regurgitate the same ideas over and over and over again. It's ridiculous. Harbender says, I have an idea for a new TV show about an eccentric scientist who gets merged with his time-traveling car in a lab accident. It's called the Man DeLorean. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a great deal. Captain K-Man, thank you for the 2 ice cream donation over on D-Live. I appreciate it, bruv. Orange Eye Review says, those alleged ways won't work on a Kindle. I tried many different ways. Well, you can use it if you have an Android phone. You can have access to it. I believe there are iPhone alternatives as well, but Android, you have access to certain apps you can download, allegedly, of course. Fire Stick is one of the best ways to do it if you want to watch it on your television, but you can watch it on your phone. That's one way to do it, allegedly, of course. Dora the Hobbit says, your thoughts on Henry Cavill said he ain't done with Superman. Hey, I don't have a problem with him as Superman. I just hope that he gets to be, and I'm going to trigger some people, I just hope he gets to be in a good Superman/DC movie, because we haven't gotten it yet. For all the Zack Snyder fans out there and all the hashtag release the Snyder Cut stuff, I'm sorry, man. No cut of those films will save them. Sorry. Alice McCarthy says, of course Doomcock just went live. Of course he did. Of course. He's the future ruler of the universe, so why wouldn't he go live? Why would he care about a little plebeian like me? Super Anime Gamer says, I did Black Friday when I was a kid. Crazy, but I had fun. Ever since they started doing Thanksgiving Day sales and Amazon's taken off, at least where I am, it's gotten lame and unpopular. Yeah, to me, if it was like the old days where they were open for 24 hours a day and I could just wake up at 3 a.m. and go, and there might be people there, but it's not going to be like crazy lines, hey, that's something that I might want to do. But yeah, the fact that the lines start and it's like an official line process and there's people that will camp out there for days on end, I don't quite understand it. I'm all for consumerism, right? I think that consumerism and capitalism are good, inherently good things, because they do create wealth. They do create a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. But at the same time, I think there's a limit. I think there's a case to be made that some people want too much and some people obsess too much. I mean, especially with all the stuff you have now, what could you possibly be getting that early for that great of a deal that you'd be willing to go through that process, let alone hurt someone, let alone stampede someone? There's nothing out there that's worth that. You know, the so-called doorbusters, most of those sales are available at any given time of the year. Most of those sales you can sometimes even find better at different times of the year. And it just doesn't seem worth it to me. GMonkey76 says, you call it Black Friday, I'm triggered. I know. That to me, I would not be surprised if that's the next thing that woke culture goes after. And that to the point that the media and the big giant corporations will actually kowtow to it and start calling it something else. Consumer Friday. We're going to call it Consumer Friday now. I would not be surprised if that's the next thing they fight. Zach Gregg says, I will feel old on Black Friday. I am turning 28. 28? Now, I know that I'm going to trigger some people in the chat because you feel old. I'm 31. And I'm sure there's going to be people saying, you feel old. Well, insert age here. HyperNex13 says, that's so sad. Freya's awesome for doing that. Yeah. I know. Freya is amazing. Alex McCarthy says, Black Friday ain't that bad, just extra crowded. Yeah, but you know what? As someone that is not a huge fan of crowds, unless it's like a group of people that I actually know and I actually pay attention to, I just, it's one of those things, as I said, where I don't mind a little bit of a crowd as long as I can get the items that I want without having to be next to someone so close that they're pushing me, because I would go straight to the Blu-ray section. Like, that's where I'm going to go on Black Friday. If I go at all anywhere, I'm going to Best Buy, Target, Walmart, and I'm going to go straight to their Blu-ray sales because that's what I do. I collect Blu-rays. I'm not really interested in their televisions because most of the TVs will be on sale online or will be sale, the entire week of Black Friday. You already have sales going on at Best Buy and Walmart for television. You can get 5K, you can get 4K televisions now for like $300. You can get a 50-inch television for $300, and it's not a terrible television. Was it TLC or TCL is the brand where it's providing really good content or good quality for a smaller budget price because they cut corners at certain areas that are not going to negatively impact the TV over time. So yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. I see one message got deleted. I need to know what that's about. I need to find out what that was about from LexCorp. Doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good at all. Maybe they got triggered. Maybe that was someone that got triggered by my comment about DC. Let's see. Alex Martinez says, Joker has well past expectations for Warner Brothers. If they expected this movie to do well, there would be officially licensed merchandise. Hopefully they do make merch for the movie. I imagine that they will because it's more money in their pocket, and we all know how corporations feel about money in their pocket. Captain Dean Heiss over on DLive says, just noticed that you're almost at 20K on YouTube. You need a celebration stream in the middle of someone else's stream. Yeah, you're right. Captain K-Man seconds that, says, oh yeah, next time someone's streaming, you should stream in celebration. Yeah, you're right, but maybe I should. I just feel that I wouldn't really take away, because the only people that I would stream and take away any people would be people that I don't want to take away people from. Like if I was going to start streaming on another day and I found out that someone else streamed like consistently weekly, I would probably change the time, or I would at least talk to them first about it. It's just kind of the person that I am. I don't just believe in, I'm just going to go live. And don't take this as me throwing shade, because I'm not throwing shade at anybody. But that's just not what I would do, right? That's something that I would want to make sure I'm not taking away viewers from anybody, because I would try and make sure that I was paying attention to people's schedules, etc. Like, for example, that's the reason why I shut my stream off when the High Council's on. Not because I think I'm going to take away a bunch of people from the High Council. It's just more so out of respect, because I know it's happening at that time, and I like the people that are involved with the High Council. And so therefore, I want to try and give as much support to them as I possibly can. And the same works with everything else, And that's one of the reasons why I decided, hey, let me take the Monday off, because maybe there's someone that's a member of this community, Fandom Menace, Asgard, etc., that maybe wants to stream on Mondays. And at least then it's leaving some more time open, And one of the many reasons why I decided to switch. Captain K-Man, thank you for the diamond donation. Dropping that diamond in here. Thank you. And no, Captain K-Man, you're breathtaking. Let's see. HyperX13 says, I wanted to ask, there was a huge argument between Bounding Into Comics and Wolf, who said Bounding misreported Robert Pattinson around the J-Lo on the Batman comments. Thoughts? I don't know anything about this, but I would tend to side with Bounding Into Comics because I use Bounding Into Comics daily. I check their articles every single day. Anytime that I'm covering something that's not specifically box office related, I'm going to have a Bounding Into Comics article up. I think John F. Trent does great work over there. I've not had any issues with his reporting. Anytime it's a rumor, boom, he puts rumor. Anytime it's a report, boom, he puts report, which is something that I appreciate because he's not just trying to go for the clickbait stuff. And I respect him for that. But yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on here with J-Lo and Robert Pattinson. I don't understand that. 70B says, Tina had a wonderful time in Cozumel. Yes, Steph, thanks for the update. So once again, prayers going towards Tina, who's currently on her cruise. She's officially on the cruise, so praying for her safety and enjoyment of her vacation. John Early says, I saw a video essay that said BVS is about hate. I could relate to Batman because he let his hate control and eat away at him. I hated my brother, but at the end of the day, he is a man. And I think that there's an argument to be made that it might be about hate, but that doesn't make it a good movie. Peter Han says, Hollywood has given me an idea. I'm going to start a movie blog. It's called Zeus Movie Blog. Thanks, Peter. That's such a great original concept. I appreciate you. Harvard Bentho, I found out that no studio was willing to fund Midway, so Roland Emmerich fundraised $100 million and made it himself. It's one of the most expensive independent movies of all time. I did not know that either. That is interesting. Sadly, Roland probably will not make a lot of money off of that investment because it's not really making a whole lot overseas. It's making decent money here in America. It's really not making a whole lot overseas, though. Let's see. The current numbers for it are $73.8 million. And as I mentioned previously, Frozen 2 is coming out this weekend. You got a lot of other films coming out soon. Knives Out, guys. Ryan Johnson's new mega hit. It's going to be a mega hit, guys. Let me tell you, it's going to be big. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be awful. The question is, do I buy a ticket to Frozen 2 and see Knives Out? Or do I buy a ticket to something else? You know what? Buy a ticket to Midway and then go see either Frozen 2 or Knives Out. Maybe Knives Out, because then that way I can report on it Thursday night and tell y'all just how good or how bad it is. More likely how bad it is, since Ryan Johnson didn't just direct it, but I think he also wrote it as well. And we all know how he does with writing. But anyway, Midway is at $73.8 million. It's just really not bringing in any money overseas. $35 million domestic, $38.2 million here in the States. It's not making any money over there. It did get a China release. It's only made $30.9 million over there. So it looks like he'll probably end up with a loss on that film, because if it costs $100 million to make, $50 million is going to be what the marketing costs were probably. So you're looking at a $150 million cost. He only gets about 60% or so of the entire box office take 60% of 73, even if he were to get to $100 million, which is still a bit of a stretch now at this point. Yeah, he's looking at a loss. So it might be the biggest independent, but it might also be one of the biggest independent losses of all time too, which is really, really sad. Captain Will Gentry over on DLive says, Pattinson and J-Lo joked about her playing Batman. Some people got upset about it. Some look at it as a joke. That's the conflict there. Oh, okay, gotcha. So let's see. Pattinson and J-Lo joked about her playing Batman. Yeah, you know what? That to me sounds like, in context, it probably would have been taken more as a joke. But yeah, please no. Definitely no. That should never happen. He then goes on to say, it's all quite insignificant stuff, really, but the kind of thing people seem to get worked up about nowadays, sadly. So I'm guessing that Bounding into Comics reported it, and Wolf got worked up about it? I'm trying to figure out what the conflict was there. Was it how they reported it? Sasha Neons over on YouTube says, Darlene Kennedy said in some interview they had nothing to work with for the sequel trilogy. Guess she never bothered to realize the EU exists. See Thor Skywalker's latest video for more. Dude, Thor Skywalker. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Good channel. Very, very good channel. That being said, that is interesting that Darlene Kennedy said that in a recent interview, that, we had nothing to work with. That's a lie. That's blatantly contradicted by the president of Disney himself, Bob Iger. Bob Iger's recent book, he says clearly that they bought the scripts and the ideas from George Lucas. George Lucas already had a sequel trilogy planned, and he bought them. And he made George believe that he would do something with it in a very backhanded fashion. So now Kathleen Kennedy is lying in an interview. Why is that not a surprise? Who in Lucasfilm hasn't been on a lying spree lately? Dear Lord. That's ridiculous. Captain Mr. Roy, thank you for the 2 diamond and 5 ice cream donation. Nom, 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 nom. That is delicious stuff, good sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow, though, that's insane. Darlene Kennedy, lying once again. Why is no one surprised? Harwood Bentho, are you interested in Clint Eastwood's Richard Jewell? It looks like a potentially great movie that shines a light on fake news. Is that the one? Have we already gotten a trailer for it? Because I want to say I saw a trailer for the new Clint Eastwood film, and it actually looked pretty decent. At least high production value. HyperNex13 says, on Princess Mononoke earlier, yeah, it's okay, dude. At one point, the kid said the main character was gay for showing love towards another character. I'm like, how is that gay? So basically, you had a kid from the 1990s who called anything that he didn't like gay. That's what I'm getting. It sounds like a 90s kid stuck in 2019 who doesn't understand that language has developed and moved on from that. Not to say that no one uses that type of language anymore, but still, that. That's what we said in middle school, man. That's gay, man. Like no one really says that anymore. And if they do, we're like, seriously, there's so many smarter words to use to get that same point across. Soul Assassin says, I've worked Black Friday ever seeing 300 perfect reenactment. Okay, so ever seen 300 perfect reenactment. Okay, that's the context there. So Soul Assassin says that if you've ever seen the movie 300 and the battle scenes and the fighting and just the madness, I'm assuming you also mean the arrows that are destroying everyone on the field. Yeah. That's Black Friday for people working in the industry. Laura Rhinestone, my fanfiction story, says, I would stampede everyone in this chat for a Baby Yoda. Really? No, because you would know that you could get it. You could order it online. You can get a Baby Yoda online. You don't have to stampede anybody for it. Father Christopher Miller dropping in saying, please, I'm 45. Yep, here come the ages. Dora the Hobbit says, 21 Bridges got 43% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Are critics bigoted? Yeah, you would think so. And that's surprising because that film seemed to be a movie that they would love because they are usually politically minded. Jay Stowe says, what are your favorite TV series portrayals of Batman and Joker? In my opinion, Adam West's Batman, the animated Super Friends, and Justice League versions of Batman, Romero and Hamill for Joker. Batman, the animated series, I would say is my favorite TV portrayal. The classic 1960s Batman, it's fun, it's campy, but it does get on my nerves at times. But Batman, the animated series, to me, is definitive Batman, especially on television. That's for sure. All right, Alex McCarthy had the last comment before the chat jumped on me. Let's see. Where is it? Alex McCarthy says, you feel old. I'm turning 34 in 2 days. Well, happy early birthday, Alex McCarthy. Alex Martinez says in Yoda's voice, Boomer, okay. Boomer, okay. That's a bad Yoda. I'm not on my game tonight. Harvard Bentho says, would you listen to a Jar Jar Binks novelty album featuring classics like Love Misa Tenda, Misa Way, and Wisa the Champions of Naboo? Yes, I would. That would be fantastic. Hammer, hey, Odin. Rey looks like she's flying through space in the newest Rise of Skywalker trailer today. Double down on dumb Disney. I have not seen that. I was told that we got the final trailer, and yet we're getting more trailer? Wow, interesting. I wonder if it's because no one's interested in the movie and the tickets aren't selling nearly as well as they thought, and they're trying to bring some people in. Maybe they're afraid because they're projected to make less than The Last Jedi did, and if that's any indication, you could be seen coming in much lower than that film did. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? I think so. Hi, Renex13. Dude, honestly, I'm getting annoyed with the release, the Snyder Cut hashtag. That's just me. Sorry to those that are triggered. And it's going to trigger some people. I'm tired of it too, really. Like, part of me is like, release the damn thing so that way people will shut up about it. But then I'm also like, but it doesn't even exist. It can't exist because Zack Snyder did not finish that movie. And it's already been revealed that there were things he wanted, note the term, wanted to do, meaning that he did not get to do them. Meaning they would have to literally go back in to film those scenes that he wanted to have in just for him to make this cut. No studio in their right mind is going to do that. Because, yeah, you've got a very loud group of release a Snyder Cut people on Twitter. They're not the ones that are going to show up in droves to buy it on Blu-ray if they release it. You're not going to make massive profits off of that. So I'm just like, at the one point, release something. And then I talked about this with John. I was saying, you know what, man? What they should do is they should say, hey, here's the Snyder Cut. Add in a couple of extra scenes, all the extra scenes that you got, and then people will say, you see, it's so much better. I was going to say that no matter what they release, but you see, it's so much better. Just like they did with BVS. But then it's not actually the Snyder Cut, it's just all the extra scenes that were not actually put in the actual theatrical cut. And then, of course, there'll be this whole controversy, and yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Just release the damn thing or shut up about it. Alice McCarthy says, true, though the High Council sometimes is late, early, or no one has time for it. Yeah, that's true. I will say this much. I'm assuming that I can share the information. And what I now know is that apparently the High Council is going to start to do a rotation of guests. My guess is to try and make sure that there are always people available for the High Council. And I've been asked to be on that rotation. So you might be seeing me on the High Council soon. I don't think tonight because it was insinuated that it would be for future episodes. Also, I wouldn't be available tonight because my wife is going out of town starting tomorrow, and she's got an early flight, so I can stream to my normal time, but anything later than that, I would be yelled at, and a boot would be thrown at my head for keeping her awake. Captain K-Man over on D-Live says, Richard Jewell is the movie about the Atlanta bombing where they blame the security guard who found the bomb. Thank you, Captain K-Man. Context is key. They have released a trailer. I've seen that trailer. The actor they have playing the security guard is one of my favorite character actors working in Hollywood right now. If you have not seen I, Tonya, his role in I, Tonya was fantastic. As soon as you see this guy, you'll be like, oh, it's that guy. And I love him. I think he's hilarious. He's very single-noted. And this seems to be probably the most challenging role that he's ever had, which it's got me excited because I always like seeing actors being pushed in a direction that they've never been pushed before. It looks fascinating. And yeah, I'm actually very excited for it. So thank you for the context, Captain K-Man, because I was just like, I've heard of this and I know what you're talking about. I just totally forgot the overall. But yeah. Then Captain Will Gentry says, have you ever been on the High Council before? I have. I think I've been on the High Council twice. I think I've been on it twice in my life. I would say it's 2 or more. Definitely not more than 2, though. Or I'm just going to say 2. I don't even know what I was trying to say there. John Early says, that's what Loverboy Media said about Zack Snyder in his BVS video essay. Zack Snyder lost a child. He's just a man, and he didn't ask for any of the hate people give him for BVS. And again, I that's why I don't go after him personally. But I will go after his art. I'm sorry, but like that's the whole point of being a critic, man. If you're gonna put your work out there, be ready for it to be criticized. I'm not just gonna say, oh, his movie's great, all because I'm giving sympathy points, right? My heart goes out to him for losing his child. When we found out that news about his kid, I was praying for him, and I was asking for other people to pray for him because that is terrible, right? We can separate the art from the artist, but that doesn't mean that I'm just going to ignore the fact that BVS is not a good movie. Like, objectively speaking, it is so flawed. People who subjectively enjoy it, go right ahead. Hey, I'm not going to try and take your joy away from you, but it's objectively flawed. We have to at least agree on that point. 70B says, look at Twitter to see why I timed that person out. Oh, what you got? What do you got there? What did this person say? Oh, yeah, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. So 70B, thank you very much for taking care of that. I'm very sorry that that person had to say that to you and subject you to that nonsense. Because 70B, you are amazing. And anyone that speaks to you that way deserves to be smacked in the face with Jesus. Mark Lazar said, they are reporting that Mandalorian had less streaming video demand than Titans on DC Universe. Your thoughts? Yeah, it's always hard to prove that, though, because the only people that have access to the stats are the companies themselves. So unless DC has released the numbers and Disney has released the numbers, I think it's going to be hard for us to really say. I know there are certain websites and apps out there that can supposedly dive into the service and dive into all of that, like that metadata. It's just hard for me to really believe that without official numbers, though. It wouldn't surprise me because Mandalorian here's the thing. DC Universe has been around for much longer. I don't know the subscriber count in comparison. Also, Disney Plus has had tremendous issues. For example, the last 2 days has not worked on my Wi-Fi. Could not get it to work on my Roku, could not get it to work on my computer, could not get it to work on my phone when connected to the Wi-Fi. As soon as I switched over to 4G, no problem at all. So, and it just started working today. So my guess is the reason why the numbers are probably lower is because of the fact that, one, they just launched. They may not have as many subscriber base. Again, I don't know that for sure. And two, all of the technical issues have probably kept a lot of people from accessing the content. So that seems to make some sense to me. Slice Neon says, Prime Jeremy has time to not be on the High Council, but doesn't have time for the High Council. Typical pool house shill, yes. And as his pool house boy, as his pool boy, in the words of Mad Max, yes, I understand exactly what you're talking about. You know what's great, though? Jeremy has had more appearances and more time for the High Council ever since he quit the High Council, and I love it. It's so funny. Every time the High Council's on and I switch it over and I see Jeremy's there, I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't this the guy that had to quit the High Council because he didn't have time? And now every time the High Council's on, he shows up. I love it, though. I love Jeremy. By the way, Jeremy was on a stream yesterday with Mundane Matt Jarbo, and a couple other of his haters. And oh my goodness, he shared a clip with us over on our messenger, and it was hilarious. It was fan-freaking-tastic. Sasha says, buy a ticket to Mr. Rogers and see instead. Okay, Sasha says, buy a ticket to Mr. Rogers and then see Mr. Rogers instead. Quote from your therapist. Yeah, I fully plan to see Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood as soon as it comes out. Is it coming out this weekend, and is it a wide release? Because I'm wondering if it's only going to be released in certain markets as an independent film first. But let me check my local theater while I have my phone available, because that's a good point. I could just give all my money to that movie and not have to give a damn cent to anything else. See, Jojo Rabbit's playing at my local theater. Jojo Rabbit, everyone. It is coming out this weekend. Yeah. The only problem with that, I might not be able to see that movie until my wife gets back from vacation, because my wife really wants to see it, and I don't blame her. The movie looks so wonderful. It looks fantastic. It looks wholesome. We don't get enough movies like that. It's a PG movie. It's a PG movie that a lot of people want to see, including myself. So, yes, Slicer, I agree with that comment, though. Alex McCarthy says, Frozen 2, even though it's Disney, it looks good. Duck Fisney, but I will appreciate the rare new good stuff they do. Here's the thing. It might look good, but based on the early reviews, it doesn't look good. Jeremy Johns gave a scathing review. Even Chris Stuckman was like, this is not good. Chris Stuckman gave it a C-. Jeremy Johns said it'd be better if you're drunk. That's a very low score from him. And he seemed to indicate that there's something that happens with the character that was a spoiler towards the end that is not a good thing. And also, in both of their explanations, to me, it sounds like they went full feminist in this movie. Because the male lead is in the movie in the very beginning and then disappears until the very end. And does nothing. Now, we can talk about that, how that's just character design, etc. But basically, it seems like, hey, we're women, we're strong, we can do this on our own. Then they split up. And then it's, oh, we're strong and we can do this on our own. Which reminds me a lot of many of the Disney films that have come out this year. Now, if it's just that, and it's just typical storytelling, then that's typical storytelling. But if it at all goes in the direction of Toy Story 4 or Wreck-It Ralph 2, we could have another feminist propaganda in our films once again. And I don't want that, because I'm sick and tired of it being in our animated features. Just tell a good story. Stop trying to push agendas. Hara Bentha says, do you think that Jennifer Lopez would make a good Catwoman? Hell no. I'm sorry, but Jennifer Lopez, in my opinion, is not a good actress. The one good movie I can remember her being in was Selena, and that's about it. HyperNex13 says, basically, Bounding reported an article on Pattinson, Batman, J-Lo comments, and Wolf was saying that he was just joking around and the comment shouldn't have been taken seriously. Yeah, but to Bounding's credit, I think that it is still something that is going to interest enough people for it to be covered. And knowing Bounding in the comics and knowing John F. Trent, he probably put the label on rumor. And he wasn't reporting it as a factual news story. He is always very good in his articles to lay out everything that you need to know. So it sounds to me like people just got triggered for no reason. Again, I wasn't there, so I cannot speak to it specifically, but that's what it sounds to me like. Sounds to me like a big misunderstanding, more than anything else. Alex McCarthy says, according to my wife, I talk like 1940s Steve Rogers. There's only one God, ma'am, and you're not it. Sasha Neons, I feel there is no redemption for many in Lucasfilm. No chance to redeem. Not if the rumors are true. Hashtag Beret played that. Beret played the never. Won't save them now. The Inquisition will put them on the rack. Yes. Something tells me that the Inquisition, Doomcock and Gary Stream, will definitely destroy that film when it comes out. Howard Bentho says, what are your thoughts on Elizabeth Banks as an actress, and what's your thought about movies featuring her? So overall, I've generally liked her in her movies. I liked her in Hunger Games. I've liked her in her earlier work. Hell, I go even so far back as to like her in things and projects like Wet Hot American Summer. I think that she is a funny actress. She's single note. She only really does one specific role, and she does it very well, but it is still single note. I actually liked her supporting role in the first Pitch Perfect movie. She's a terrible director, though, because Pitch Perfect 1 was great. Pitch Perfect 2 was forgettable. She directed Pitch Perfect 2, not Pitch Perfect 1. And now Charlie's Angels, 2019, is bombing at the box office. No one wants to see it, and she's blaming every person left or right, and no rhyme or reason to it. And she's blaming everyone but herself. She will not take ownership of the fact that her movie was not well written, was not well directed, was not well put together, as almost every person is reporting. Even people that are liking the overall, female empowerment narrative, they're at least honest enough to say it's just not a very well done movie. So yeah, that's my overall thought about Elizabeth Banks. I don't hate her. I don't think that she's totally talentless. However, I don't think that she's a good director. Laura says, I had to find another why am I on Twitter moment today. Thanks for being a good person to follow on the Twitter. No problem at all, Laura. I try and keep my tweets very limited. I try and keep it as limited as I possibly can. Orange Hat Reviews says, to be fair, that was a TV spot, not a trailer. Yeah, and I always hate how studios do that. Oh, this is the last trailer, but we're going to release a TV spot that we'll then later put on our channel as a trailer. Alex McCarthy says, what the heck does OK Boomer mean? Darn kids and their new conflab ways of speaking? I actually think it's pretty funny, the whole OK Boomer thing. In fact, one teacher at my school, who's about my age, was told that by a student, and she was like, hold the phone. Do you even know what a boomer is? And saw fit to educate them about how it's an actual term for an actual group of people from an actual group of years and not just a random expression. Nickel Noodle says, do you think George Lucas wouldn't have sold Star Wars if the public reception of the prequels were more positive? I've heard a bunch of people have been trying to make this point about how, someone actually attacked me in the comments recently about that very subject. And what was interesting to me, we got the puppies now. Look at the puppy. Look at the couch puppy. Look at her. That's Willow. She's a sweetie. Yeah. She's a sweetie. And then River's the one that stays on the ground. So she's right next to me. And she's like, I want attention too, Dad. She'll probably try and get in my lap in a second, but it happens. She looks really sad, but she's really not. It's just her face. Which is so sad. Just look at her. So sad and pathetic. Oh, but I love her. She's such a sweetheart. Anyway, so someone in my comment section, Nickel Noodles, attacked me because they were like, yeah, you're ignoring the fact that George Lucas gave it up because people like you were being critical of the prequels. That probably had something to do with it. But keep in mind, after the last prequel, what did he do? That's right. He made the Clone Wars, which was pretty well received by a lot of Star Wars fans and ended up going 6 seasons until eventually he sold it. So he had over 6 years of Star Wars after that moment. And he was making great episodes, and it was well received by the Star Wars community at large. So I'm trying to understand how that's justifiable to say that. Did it have some impact? I'm sure. I'm sure George Lucas was tired, and a lot of that had to do with the backlash he got for the prequels. But also, let's be honest, the prequels were not well-made movies, right? The stories overall were very good. He's great at putting a story together, but he cannot write screenplays. He cannot write dialogue. The CGI is at points cringeworthy. The acting is very stoic. He's not a good actor's director. These are objective qualities that we can look at and we can admit to. Even though I love the man for the world that he's created, he's not a perfect person. And if the reason why he sold it is because of the prequel hate, then that's on him. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, that's on him. Do I think some people were a little bit too harsh with it? Absolutely, as anyone can. But I think that's only one of the many issues, one of the plethora of issues. Let's see. Sonny B says, "Yay, good for you, Chief. Thank you very much." Alex McCarthy says, "I just want release the Lucas cut of the sequel trilogy." Well, seeing that he was not officially involved in anything more than the story and maybe an advisor, that will never happen, sadly. Slasha Neon says, "It's 2 or more, but less than 2. Okay, all boomer. Really gonna call me all boomer? Really? You're gonna try and make that term new?" Super Anime Gamer says, "I'm so happy they made a Richard Jewell film. Before seeing the trailer, I had no idea that even happened. Then I did a ton of research, and it's very topical." Yeah, I didn't really know a whole lot about it either. I remember the event, the overall event that's taking place at the time, but I had no idea about this guy. And that's one of the things I like about Clint Eastwood, is that he's willing to dive into stories that otherwise really wouldn't be covered. And he's had some flops because of that. He had the one film where he had the actual heroes of the story in real life try and act, and it didn't end up very well. But now he's got another another real life event, but he's using professional actors, so I think it'll end up turning pretty good. Also, the fact that this dude is in his 90s and still producing these films and directing these films, and actors still want to work with him, that's awesome. I have to give mad respects for that. Mad props to my bro. Nigaloto says, when you get on the High Council, can you ask EVS where the heck my Cyberfrog comics are? It's been like a year and a half and I'm still waiting. Damn, I thought everyone had gotten theirs, but apparently there are some people that have not gotten it yet. I know that he's sending them out. People are receiving them. I've seen the videos and I've seen the images, so I'm sure yours will be on the way soon, hopefully. And does EVS still come on the High Council? I feel like if the High Council isn't canceled, they've filled his spot with somebody else because he's busy. And I know he's busy. He's a busy man. But that's what I thought was going on with it. I could be wrong on that. 70B says, no worries, no problem at all. CWD Trixie says, after Steve 3PO gets hacked and becomes Bender, if you please bite my tiny metal buttocks, sir. Jumping over to D-Lab for a second. Let us see here. Captain High says, did you see Jeremy's car video with Doomcock? Yes, I did, and it was wonderful. It was great seeing him in a luchador mask, and still that same amazing voice came out from it. It's one of those things where it's just like, this doesn't sound like the voice that should be coming. I almost thought, wait, is that Cecil because of the way the mask was on? But then as soon as you hear that voice, you're like, yeah, that's definitely a different person. Though if Doomcock and Cecil ever turn out to be the same person, that will be the mind-blowing of the century. Captain Will Gendry says, which channel was Jeremy on with Matt Jarbo? That one slipped by me. I don't know. He just sent the clip in our chat, so I actually am not sure. I think he went into enemy territory, so it might be on Matt Jarbo's channel. It might be on 3Buck Theater or Matt Jarbo. I'm not exactly sure where it is. Captain Gentry says, to be fair, boomer and baby boomer are different things. It's got two meanings now. When kids say boomer, they don't mean baby boomers. Yes, but that's how it was meant. That's how the whole meme started, was because someone called someone else a baby boomer, but called them okay boomer. So yes, it means two different things because the kids don't understand what the concept means, but it is supposed to mean baby boomer. And then Captain Gentry says, but you can't blame a person for taking the chance to put a mouthy brat in their place. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let's see. Super Anime Gamer says, agreed, it's the same with Ridley Scott. I'm so sorry he lost his brother, but it was his choice to keep making films and doesn't change how bad most of his films have been recently. Yeah, that's true. He's made a lot of really good ones. The Martian is fantastic. I love that movie. I still like Prometheus. Alien Covenant was a giant disappointment. And the reason why Alien Covenant was a disappointment was because there were scenes they cut from the movie that they put on YouTube the weekend it got released. And so I saw the movie, went home, watched the YouTube clips, and I thought to myself, why aren't these in the movie? These help provide so much more context and clarity to character development and character roles. And I realized that something happened in the editing process where he did not have full grasp of the concept that he was creating. So, yeah, it's crazy. It really is. Peter Hand says, does Odin's movie blog have more subs than Mad Max? It's not even close, Peter. Oh, it's not even close, man. John Early says, my parents lost a child to Allfather on May 22nd, 2018. Rest in peace, Karina. Rest in peace, Karina. Absolutely. Prayers going your way, man. Because that's still pretty recently. Niggle Noodle says, Jeremy says he has 40 people working for him. Are you considered one of the 40? Yes, because he's got people working for him on geeksandgamers.com. A lot of people forget this. His main baby is geeksandgamers.com. And YouTube was something that he was just doing for extra that kind of just blew up on its own. So he has a bunch of us, of course, working for him on the channel itself. You've seen a lot of new faces on the channel recently. And he's still got a bunch of people behind the scenes, social media team, website team, all the, like, seriously, like, the amount of people that are involved are just, it's incredible. It really is. Niggle Noodle says, Jeremy says, okay, got that one all right. Peter Han says, just when I thought I was done with the High Council, they found a way to drag me back in. Yes. And I will do my very best, just like I do on the Friday Night Tight stream. I will try and be in the chat as much as I possibly can. Horror Bentho says, I think that both Elizabeth Banks and Margot Robbie are great at acting, but terrible as producers or directors, as evidenced by Charlie's Angels and what we've seen of Birds of Prey. Well, here's the thing. Margot Robbie, I think, just produced Birds of Prey, so that only means she has so much control. It really is mostly going to be coming down to the director and writer. Producer only has certain inputs, and it really depends on the producer, but seeing that she's not a very large producer in Hollywood, I can't imagine that she's got a lot of sway with the creative direction of the overall film. She might, but I doubt it just based on history. And yeah, I think that you're right. Elizabeth Banks is a good actress. I wouldn't consider her great. Margot Robbie is a great actress. Wolf of Wall Street. I, Tonya, even more so. Dear Lord, the performances she gave in I, Tonya. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be good in other areas. Let's see. Charzy says, I think Joker will make $65 million in DVD and Blu-ray sales. I think this is because it is a type of movie that many people will buy. People who don't usually buy will. And Venom made $52 million in $850 million box office. Yeah, I think that the Venom shout is very good because I could see Joker doing as well, if not better than Venom on Blu-ray. Probably will do better. And if Venom made $52 million, yeah, you're right. But around $60 million, that sounds about right to me. And it's already made so much in profits, that would just be adding things on. And if you have not pre-ordered your copy of that movie, I recommend it. It comes out in December, and there is a 4K steelbook that looks pretty good. Could look better, but looks pretty good. Alice McCarthy says, what? Duck Fisney? How dare they do that to Frozen? I know, seriously, it sounds awful. It really does. Super Anime Gamer says, wait. Mundane Matt, Mr. False Flagger, Boulder Collector agreed to go on a stream with Jeremy? Whose channel is it on? I have no idea. Horror Bentho says, speaking of PG biopic starring Tom Hanks, what are your thoughts on Saving Mr. Banks? Not as good. There are certain parts that I like. However, it really does not capture how Disney basically told the creator of the story, screw you. They did not respect her wishes at all. And I don't think they really showed that. They seem to indicate, oh, everything ended up being okay in the end, but it's not really accurate to the overall story. So I like his performance in the movie. I like a lot of parts of the movie, but I don't think it's being accurate to all the people involved in the real life story. Let's see. Slasher Neon says, I really hope Frozen 2 is good. My mom is taking my cousins this week to cheer them up after their dog passed away this weekend. I'm sure the kids will enjoy it. Like, don't get me wrong. The kids will enjoy it. My only comment when it comes to the kids, though, is I'm worried about indoctrination. That's the main thing that I'm trying to fight against. That's why I'm vehemently against films like Toy Story 4 and also films like Wreck-It Ralph 2, because I think it gives terrible messages to kids. And that's what seems to be in Frozen 2. However, they're not likely to pick up on it after one viewing, so they should be okay. And I haven't seen it yet, so I can't speak to it clearly or specifically. Zach Gregg says, Kristen Stewart looks like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. No, Joffrey looks better. Asper Harley says, release the beret, play the never cut. Yes, exactly. Hashtag release the beret, play the never cut. Yes, you're exactly right. Horror Bentho says, my vote for Catwoman would have been Bridget Regan. I don't know who that is. Dory the Hobbit says, can Scarlett Johansson save Star Wars? Scarlett Johansson? Is she involved with Star Wars? That's kind of a random thought. Harbender says, did you hear about William Shatner criticizing the OK Boomer phrase? I did not. What did he say? Charzy continues, and Venom made $52 million. Okay, you already got that. With PG-13 and $850 million box office. Even though Joker's rated R, it has much higher box office and is far superior movie. You're right, Charzy. However, you also bring up a point to your detriment, because it's a rated R movie, meaning that it's going to be a lot more restricted as far as access goes. That being said, I still think it's going to make around 60 to 65. I think you're right about that. That seems to be a correct number in my mind. But what could have an impact on it is the fact that it is not going to be nearly as accessible as a PG-13 film. Grandmaster Yoda says the episode 9 TV spot match even more of the Jedi Paxis leaks, retcon Vader's story arc so we can bring back Sidious and make Rey the one that will be the plot. Yeah, that's been a lot of the Reddit leaks for sure. Orange Hat Reviews says Elizabeth Banks shouldn't have cast Justin Bieber for her movie. It probably would have made $2 million more. Okay. I get the joke now. At first I'm like, Justin Bieber's in the movie? Oh, you're talking about Kristen Stewart. Yeah, you're probably right. If Kristen Stewart had not been cast, it probably would have been making more money. HyperNext13, I just got nothing. I got nothing against Bounty in the Comics, but I understand why some were in conflict. Titled, Robert Pattinson thinks J-Lo would make a great Batman. I was surprised with the outrage. Well, again, that's Bounty in the Comics covering it. That's not them showing outrage. That's them just covering the story, and they think that it's worth covering. As I said, it sounds like there was just a misunderstanding. Harbor Bentho says, he won't see your comment unless you put the word Odin question in it. Thank you, Harbor Bentho. Thank you for pointing that out. If you have a comment, please put Odin question, all one word. It'll then have your message highlight as orange on my screen, and then I'll know you're trying to get my attention. It just makes things a lot easier, and it helps against spamming as well. Zach Gregg says, originals are greater than the prequels, are greater than staring at the sun, are greater than the sequels. Yes, I would agree with you there, for sure. All right, the rapper 10,000 says, did you ever watch the original Charlie's Angels TV show? That show is more iconic with hot, smart women than the woke SJW film. I've never seen it, actually. It just never has really interested me. I watched the 90s movies because I was a young boy, and it's just kind of the thing that you were interested in at the time. And you had three very good-looking women on screen, and young Odin was a very different person than he is now. But no, I've never seen the original show, but I know there are some people that are fans of that show. Just, again, why did they have to remake it? No one knows. Superman Gamer says, I sincerely hope Frozen 2 is at least decent. I have little children in my family, which means we have to watch movies over and over again, and Frozen is their favorite movie on earth. Well, I will be seeing Frozen 2 during the week of Thanksgiving because my little niece has already asked that we go see the movie together. So I'm kind of stuck by that. I can't really explain to a 4-year-old, hey, do you know what wokeness is? Could you imagine that conversation? Can you say the word indoctrination? All she'll hear is, you're trying to keep me away from a movie that I need to see now. And I can't do that. Can't do that to the niece. Anyone with a niece will know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyone with a daughter will probably know it. If it was my daughter, I would be a lot more like, no, you're not watching this garbage. But my niece, I don't really have that. I don't have that authority, right? I don't have that authority, and so I'm not going to try and toe that line. And I will try and do the best that I can to sit through it with a smile on my face. Harbor Bentha says, Schumacher apologized for Batman and Robin, and Raimi apologized for Spider-Man 3, even though that was more Sony's fault. Why is it so hard for today's directors to acknowledge failure? That's a great question. I really do wish that directors and producers and writers would be able to take more responsibility for themselves. You do have some rare cases where it happens. For example, the Sonic trailer came out. It got a huge backlash. The director said, hey, I hear you. We're going to fix it. He fixed it. And now I'm actually interested in seeing the film because he listened to fans. And I know a lot of people watching this right now are probably like, hey, you know what? I wasn't planning on seeing it before, but now I kind of want to support the dude for doing that. Because it takes guts to do that, to move your release date because you're going to change the CGI to your character to try and listen to the fans. That's big. I mean, that is huge to me. But at the same time, you also have people like Colin Trevorrow who also admitted saying, I'm proud of the work that I've done, but you know what? I hear your concerns and I hear what you're saying, and I will do better next time. And he's still proud of his work. So, Elizabeth Banks can still be proud of her work, but still admit, hey, yeah, you're right. It's not a good movie. I'll do better next time. But she won't do that because she can't admit she's wrong. She would rather blame men, blame the culture, blame patriarchy, blame anything and everything other than herself. Because that's the world that she lives in. HyberNX13 says, he then came to realize that Pattinson was just being sarcastic. So yeah, I think it was all just a misunderstanding. Wolf was pretty scary with the replies via Twitter. Yeah, I mean, I don't really follow Wolf all that much. I only know him by reputation, I guess. So yeah, if he was being inappropriate with his replies, then I have very little respect for that. Because at the end of the day, if there's one thing we can say, Bounty in the Comics is a friend. John F. Trent is a good guy. He's not trying to be an ass. He's not trying to be disingenuous or anything. So if it's a misunderstanding, it's a misunderstanding. But yeah, I don't know what replies. As I said, I know nothing about this, so I can't really say any comments about it specifically. But it doesn't sound like Wolf was on the right side of this, at least in his response. Harbenther says, do you think that Scott Eastwood has a lot of potential as an actor? He's not going to be his father. And I think as long as we understand and realize that much, I think he'll have a decent career. The rapper says, okay, you've posted that comment already. As McCarthy says, Doomcock vs. Cecil, Dawn of the Phantom Menace. Now, wouldn't that be an amazing film? Hardwick Bentho. Okay, so the rapper 10,000. Another thing about my channel, I fall behind in the chat because I read the chat. I'm stuck at 7:45 in the chat. It's almost 8 o'clock. I'm 15 minutes behind in the chat. If there's one thing that drives me up the wall, it's spamming comments. So I'm sure you're new because I've never seen your name in the chat before, but please do not spam the chat because with my ADD, it really does. It really, again, it's not just I'm judging you. It literally drives my ADD insane. Harvard have you seen All the Money in the World? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I feel sorry for that movie because it's a film that got racked by a scandal with Kevin Spacey to the point where they took him out of the movie completely and put someone else in his place somehow, some way, Christopher Plummer. And it was not as terrible as a film should be that changes in the last 3 weeks before its release. The fact that he kept the release date and in like 3 or 4 weeks was able to refilm all of those scenes and put him in instead, it's amazing. I want to see the Kevin Spacey cut. I would love for there to be a special release of that movie one day that has the Kevin Spacey cut. That way you can actually compare the performances and can compare the movie because it might be a completely different movie with the original actor. All right. 70B, your beard is getting wild, Chief. You're right. It is. And I think I might need to take care of it, especially when the wife is out. Might need to do that. To surprise her. Let's see. Rosetta Allen says, I hope you're feeling amazing, Odin. I have been streaming a lot, trying to get some fundraising for a friend. You are getting scruffy. Buddy, thank you, Rosetta. Indeed. Hope you're doing very well, Rosetta Allen. Rob D says, do you watch Ray Donovan? If so, have you seen the new episode? I do not watch Ray Donovan. It looks interesting. Just don't really have a lot of time for TV shows that I'm behind on. Harbendo says, from what I've heard, Warner Brothers gave Margot Robbie virtually full creative control over Birds of Prey, and she handpicked the director, writer, cast. Oh, well, that changes a lot. Jay Stowe, is the Joker Steelbook exclusive to a store? The version that I got is a Best Buy exclusive. I'm sure you'll be able to find things on Zavi and other sites like that will have a Steelbook version, but the one that I got, the 4K Steelbook, is Best Buy. As McCarthy, did you watch Noelle yet? No, have not had time. Probably have to wait. If I want to see it with the wife, probably have to wait for her to get back. HyperX13 says, sometimes we make mistakes, flaws, and misreport things, even anti-SJWs, Wolf said. So I appreciate his honesty despite the arguments that were made between them. Lord, another comment. Dear Lord, man. Soul Assassin says, the only bad thing about Frozen 2 is this theme song that's going to be played nonstop. Yeah, I hear that the music in this movie is very addicting, like the old one. Oh, boy. Tech Guy, Odin hugs. I miss you when I missed your cast. What do you think about Scarlett Johansson now coming out much more woke? Well, we already knew that she was woke. So how has she come out as more woke? I already thought that she had come out pretty far to the woke side. All right, jumping over to D-Live. Captain Dean High says, ever going to be a Geeks and Gamers employee get-together? That would be epic. Great to stream with you all in the same room. Yeah, that'd be awesome. The sad thing is that we're all in so many different parts of the country. It would be so hard to pick one place. My guess is the closest that we will get to that will be next year's Star Wars Celebration, because I know that the Geeks and Gamers team is already planning on going and doing coverage of it. I think that Jeremy's already applied for press passes and everything like that, so I hope to be invited. Again, if I'm not invited, then no hard feelings, because I know that he can only wants to bring so many people. But if I do get invited to go, I'm definitely going to go. And that, to me, I think would be the closest that we would ever get to having all the team members or most of the team members together all at the same time. And that was so much fun because during the last Star Wars Celebration, at one point, it was me, Jesse Milestone. It was Anna, that Star Wars girl, Jeremy. And then we also had Andy from the UK as well. And that was a fun stream. So just imagine that, but even with possibly more people on top of that. That'd be great. Mr. Peabody, what's going on, Mr. Peabody? He says Australians know the terms baby boomer and boomer, but in Australia, a boomer is a kangaroo. That is fair point. Cultural context is key, Mr. Peabody. You are right about that. Captain Will Gentry says they remade Charlie's Angels because someone wanted to put their agenda mark on something and thought it was a safe, known name to use. They did, and look how far they have fallen. And then, let's see, Mr. Peabody says, spoiler alert, this whole time Charlie has been a woman with a voice modulator. Wait, Peabody, is that true? Is that what they do in this movie? Because I don't care about spoilers, so I know Peabody's probably already seen it. So are you telling me that Charlie is a woman with a voice modulator? Is that real, Peabody? Because at first I thought, oh, you're just playing around here, but is that real? Mr. Peabody, thank you again for the ice cream donation as well. I appreciate it. So I'll wait to see what Peabody's response is over there. Let's see. Tech Guy says, okay, got that one already. All right, HyperNext13. Anyways, apologies if I've extended this conversation too long. Odin just wanted to share. No problem at all. Never a problem. Alex Martinez says, you know what can truly save Star Wars? The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda, Jedi Fallen Order, and the last season of Clone Wars. Alex Martinez, that is a great mix right there. Mandalorian so far has been solid. First 2 episodes. However, I am very critical of the fact that the second episode was only 27 minutes. That is stupid. 27-minute episode. Patooey. I spit at you, Lucasfilm. How dare you do that to me? Patooey. But it still looks pretty good. Also, if it's true that it costs $10 million per episode, that doesn't really make any sense that 2 episodes with the same amount of CGI, etc., would cost about the same amount of money. My guess is that they spent $80 million on the entire season, and that gets divvied up based on the different episodes. And also, Mr. Peabody has confirmed that that is true. So, spoiler warning, and I don't care, for Charlie's Angels in 2019. I don't think anyone on the channel really cares. So, Charlie, who is a man, turns out in the movie to be a woman with a voice modulator. Yeah, that's all I need to know about that movie to know I don't want to waste any time. In fact, if I ever watch that movie, it'll be while I'm playing Pokemon Shield, or no, Pokemon Sword. Sorry, I have Pokemon Sword. It'll be me playing Pokemon Sword, Breath of the Wild, or any other game while it's on in the background. That's the only way that I would do that, because then I'm not wasting my time with the movie. I'm playing a game, which is going to be a lot more worth my time than watching that garbage. Dear Lord, oh my goodness, that is amazing. 70B, thanks for letting them know how to contact me. Sasa Neon says sequels, prequels, and requels. Hollyweird needs to make like a Pringles chip flavor and get original. I like that a lot. That's a great comment. Captain Wingster, the captain of the trolls, says, oh, it's you again. Sorry, I was looking for the other Christian white guy. I hear he's more entertaining. You mean Josiah? You mean the one who is excommunicado? Josiah Rises? Is that what you're saying? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Captain Wingster, king of trolls. Alex McCarthy says, Scott Eastwood is a decent actor. As with the 80s, I'm also very well versed in all that is Clint Eastwood. But from the films that I've seen, Scott is good, but will never be Clint good. Yeah, exactly. I think that he's a fine actor, but we have to admit that he is where he is because of name recognition. That doesn't mean that he's not a bad guy. It doesn't mean that he's a bad actor, right? But he's never going to be his father. And I think that he recognizes that too. But I'm glad you mentioned that, because have you seen the Blu-ray collection video I did on the Welcome to Asgard channel? Because I have a 20-film Clint Eastwood collection, and it's great. Alice McCarthy says, beard cutting is illegal, according to you. Mr. Peabody says, he has seen it, can give more spoilers. Oh. Mr. Peabody says, Bosley is not a character, it is a rank in an organization. Oh, man. And that explains why Elizabeth Banks' character is also Bosley. That's so stupid. Wow. Super Anime Gamer says, regarding the Sonic trailer, how much do you think the first version resulted from studio interference? I don't think much, because if the studio had interfered, I don't think he would have been able to change it, to be perfectly honest. Harbentho says, someone tweeted OK Boomer at Shatner, who replied, sweetheart, that's a compliment for me. That's awesome. I love that dude. The rapper, I have not seen the Charlie's Angels reboot because I don't want to waste my time. Harbentho says, later Shatner went on to write the following. I feel like it's one of those childish insults that in fandom that seems to affect the delicate types to the point they melt down and go over the rest of our heads as something ridiculous. Hey, I think that's great. He's an awesome dude. Alice McCarthy says, of course, Drunk just went live. Of course he did. However, Drunk does have a weekly show, and he did talk to me before he started streaming on Tuesdays. So I respect him. I respect Drunk because he talked to me about it. He talked to me about it before he went live. He talked to me about it before he started that show. And I respect him for that. Harabendo says, if the person posting the thinks that they're making a dig, they are the fools. You're right. They are the fools. Cat the Wingster. Also, who cares about Frozen 2? The Lion King will always be the best. If you mean the classic, then yes. Alex Martinez says, you're getting close to 20K subscribers. Hope you reach it before the end of the year. There's a chance I could reach it before the end of the year. Based on the rate of growth in the recent weeks that we've had, it's been pretty good. I don't know what's been going on. I don't know what's in the water. The last several videos that I've made have had at least 3,000 views, which for me is very good. And it seems to be in conjunction with subscriber growth as well. So it looks like 20K might indeed be possible. Perth Comic says, are you still Geeks and Gamers Crew? I haven't seen a video from you on that channel for a while. I do one every Sunday. Every Sunday I do a video. Look back, man. Look back to every Sunday. There's a box office breakdown every single Sunday. I have not missed a week yet. Harabentho says, the fool's comment was the end of the Shatner quote, not my own words. I figured. Super says, Wolf can be crude and swear, but he didn't sound mean-spirited. Essentially, the accusation was bounding writing for rage clicks. I understand, but don't know if I agree. I don't really agree with that either because, as I said, they usually tend to make clear what's true and what's rumor. Sasha Neon says, if you had gotten into a focus group previewing episode 9, would you break the NDA to tell us how bad it is? Well, yeah, but at the same time, too, I would not give specifics only because knowing how vindictive Disney is, they would do everything in their power to shut down the channel, to sue me for money, and I don't want Disney to have that. So it wouldn't be because I'm scared of Disney. It'd be because I don't want Disney to get anything out of it. Harabentho says, it's true, Charlie's a woman in the new movie. And I think that Mr. Peabody is also dropping some more spoilers in the chat. So Mr. Peabody says, they Photoshop Patrick Stewart as being the Bosley from the TV series and other movies. They Photoshop Patrick Stewart as being the Bosley from the TV series. So wait, they put Patrick Stewart into the TV series and other movies? They use footage from the other movies? Is that what you're saying? Captain Gentry says, yeah, so Captain Dean Heiss says Patrick Stewart is a Bosley too. Yeah, I heard about that. Captain Will Gentry says, I've not seen it, but I really want to go see Charlie's Angels now. It sounds like I'll be wetting myself laughing by the time it's over. Peabody says, in this movie, Patrick Stewart is Bosley number 1, original Bosley that turns out to be the bad guy. Oh, no, really? Okay, yeah. So they take the one guy lead in their entire film and turn him into the bad guy. Okay, this is Feminism 101. Perfect. Great. Glad I have not wasted my life on this film. Peabody says, Bosley spends 40 years recruiting angels and training them only to turn on them. That's stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Wait, so Bosley spends 40 years recruiting angels to train them just so that he can turn on them. That is the plot of 2019 Charlie's Angels. Oh my goodness. Wow. And then Mr. Peabody says, the character known through the movie as Aussie Johnny is Chinese. Oh boy. Oh boy. Captain Dean High says Mecca said it wasn't as bad as the press makes it. Based on this description that I'm getting from Mr. Peabody, this sounds like trash. Peabody says they have a retirement montage of pics that are badly photoshopped. Of course they do. Oh, that's so stupid. That is so stupid. I'm glad this movie's bombing. Lord. HyberNex13 says, in your opinion, do memes and parodies negatively impact a movie? I personally don't think so. No. It really depends on how, I guess, popular they get, but I don't think they would have a major impact on a movie necessarily. I think we can enjoy a film regardless. All right, where are we in the chats? Superman Gamer says, with that knowledge, Charlie's Angels isn't even worth pirating. Yeah, seriously, as I said, if I ever do watch it, it's going to be while I'm playing a video game at the same time. HyberNex13 says, the Charlie Bite Me video has aged well and more entertaining than the modern 2019 Charlie's Angels movie. I agree. Sasha Neons. So it's stunning and brave for Whammon to pretend to be a man in order other Whammon around. That's logic, not that logic is not logical. Yep. Cat the Wingster. Odin, I think I'm a man, but in 2019 my identity cannot be determined. Jeremy Swiggs. I want a Phantom Menace sci-fi show based on River, Willow, Leia, Puppyface, and Anna's dog. Sorry, I forget its name. Oh my goodness, Jeremy Swiggs. That would be amazing. I think someone could probably do an animation about that. Nick Little says, would you pay to see a gender swap Charlie's Angels movie with a female Bosley and Jonah Hill, Jack Black, and John C. Reilly as the Angels? If they're dressing the same way, yes. Sasha Neon says, how is your adventure in Sword? Have you full team picked out or still looking? Yeah, so I've never been much for finding a perfect team. I basically go, hey, I like this Pokemon and I want it on my team. And so I'm still going around a little bit. I have just beaten all of the primary gyms, and I've moved now onto Route 10, and I've just arrived to the new town through the snowy area. That's pretty much all I can really say at this point in time, because I've really just been playing it for trying to complete a Pokedex, which doesn't matter now because they don't have the national dex for some reason. Cat the Wingster, you are a Bosley, and you are a Bosley, and you are a Bosley, and you're a Bosley, and everyone's a Bosley. That's so stupid. Oh, man. Harabentho, did you hear about Paul Feig's new Twitter statement regarding Charlie's Angels? My 2 next chats are going to be his tweets split into chats. Got you. He says, anti-male, virtue signaling, God, you guys are boring. So a movie starring women has an agenda. A movie starring men is just a movie. We got it. I'm sure Elizabeth Banks is grateful for your mansplaining. Thanks for taking the time to be helpful. Oh, so Paul Feig, do you want to talk about why your last film, Ghostbusters 2016, failed and lost money? Do you really wait, you want to go there? You really want to talk about how your film failed because you went woke? No, you don't want to go there? Okay, that's what I thought. Shut your mouth. Alex McCarthy says, 20 films seems like a decent size Clint Eastwood starter pack. I think the last time I checked, I have 40-ish. The Mule, if you haven't seen it, it was pretty good. I liked it. It wasn't perfect in my opinion, though. Super Anime Gamer, yeah, Scott Eastwood has never been amazing. He's all right and has potential. What's killing him right now is his agent. Everything I see him in is so bad. Yeah, that sounds like an agent problem. Cat the Wingster says, so they replaced Patrick Stewart for Bernie Mac? That's racist. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. You're right. How would they pull that off? Oh, that's not good. Harabentho, do you think Scott Eastwood would make a good Hal Jordan in a Green Lantern movie? Acting-wise, I think that he would do the role fine, but I don't think it would make much money because he's not much of a name. Sasha Neons, Sir Stewart got more respect as the poop emoji. Sasha Neons, Sir, okay, Hybrid X13, Feminism 101, is that a spin-off series to both Dogs and Cats 101 on Animal Planet? You're damn right it is. Rob D says, McDonald's, Burger King, or Wendy's as a kid? As a kid, I like McDonald's because of the salty fries, but right now, my number one burger is actually Burger King. There's something about the bun that just, it tastes really good, but overall, Wendy's. I love getting me my 2 crispy chicken sandwiches plain. It's delicious. It's wonderful. Let's see here. Captain Wingster says, but is this worse than Full Throttle? Yes, absolutely yes, says Captain Wingster. Alex McCarthy says, Charlie's Angel sounds worse than Captain Marvel with that knowledge. Yuck. Yeah, it does sound pretty bad. Tracy Turner, thank you for the $5 super chat, says, hello, Odin. Glad you like the socks and CD. Does Elizabeth Banks realize she destroys everything she touches? I don't think she does. But thank you, good sir. So he sent me some socks earlier today. He sent me these Joker socks. Look awesome. So thank you again for saying that to me. And he also made me a mixtape as well. Made me a mixtape with a bunch of music on it. So thank you very much for that, man. I appreciate it. Let's see. Okay, got that one already. The rapper says most of those woke SJWs are like the hippies from the 60s. Cartman, hippies don't have money. You're right. Alan Sparks, we knew Bosley had to go when he started recruiting boyish angels. Venom Broly 93, you move into a snow place, you have beard, you can fool others but not me. You're going to Laponi to become the next Santa Claus. So his logic is you move to a cold place, you have a beard. Rhaegar Targaryen, does Paul Feig realize that he also is mansplaining to fans while he lectures on Elizabeth Banks' behalf? Yeah, he is. He doesn't realize that while complaining about mansplaining, he's mansplaining. But it's okay because he's a male feminist, and so therefore it's excusable. The whole thing's stupid. Alex McCarthy says, Bill Murray was the Bosley of my time. Bill Murray was the best Bosley ever. Because he just didn't care, and you could tell. Jay Stowe, voice modulator would have been better if it was Marvin the Martian's uranium Pu-36 explosive space modulator. No, the uranium Pu-36 explosive space modulator. Marvin the Martian, man. Jeremy Swiggs, Bernie Mac as Jean-Luc Picard. That would be awesome. Alex McCarthy. The best burgers I've had was at a place called Ted's Montana Grill, and it was a bison burger instead of cow meat. Interesting. That sounds delicious. All right, we got some stuff going over on D-Live. So Captain High says, haven't heard you say chat jumped on me yet. Yeah, it's been a little bit slower in the chat. Mr. Peabody says, it gets worse. During the movie, one of the angels has to use old contact. This contact was betrayed in the past and lost her medical clinic. So to get her help, the angels help her set up her clinic again. He says that the clinic got shut down, so the angels have to help her set up her clinic, and it's an underground abortion clinic. Now I'm pissed off. Like beforehand, I can laugh at like, oh my God, that sounds stupid. That is awful. Like that pisses me off. So not only do they destroy a franchise, which really didn't need that much help being destroyed, but then you turn your movie into a, we have to protect people that kill babies. Yeah, Elizabeth Banks, I have no respect for you ever, and I refuse to watch anything that you make from this point forward because that's disgusting. Elizabeth Banks, you are a disgusting human being. You put that into your movie as a freaking plot point. I almost cursed there. But seriously, that is where you went with your movie. That is disgusting. And you know what? I'm not watching your movie. I refuse to pirate your movie, Elizabeth Banks, allegedly, because that is disgusting. Wow. That is awful. Dear Lord. Captain Dean Heist, thank you for the diamond, man. Oh my God. Captain Daniel Thorne says, it sounds like Elizabeth Banks doesn't like Charlie's Angels at all and made this movie to screw the fan base and make bank on it. Yeah, and it ultimately backfired. Peabody then says, sorry if I didn't explain it well. It was all broken up, but there was a word limit. And Jacqueline Smith is in it. I don't know who that is. That's disgusting. Captain Will Gentry says, you just made me spit out my drink when you said I refuse to pirate your movie. Well, I'm glad that I'm glad you appreciate. I'm glad you appreciated that. But that, oh my gosh, dude. So Peabody says they don't say abortion clinic, but underground women's clinic implies it. Yeah, man. It's very clear when you're trying to make it, oh, this is an underground women's clinic. It's the same people that say, oh, Planned Parenthood, they do more stuff than just abortions, even though their entire money and finances are supported by the amount of money they charge for that. Dear Lord, Peabody, that pisses me off, man. You will not like me when I'm angry. It's the reason why I choose Hulk for a lot of things, because of moments like this. See, HyberNex13 says, hey, Elizabeth Banks, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, Aliens, and most mostly every Studio Ghibli film have female leads, yet they were great movies and hits. Why can't she just admit she made a woke movie? Because she's too busy trying to support abortion. That's why. Captain Wingster says, "Where's the kaboom? There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom." The rapper, the Baconator is the best burger of them all. Baconator does sound pretty good. Jeremy Swiggs is caught up in the chat. It's a Christmas miracle. I know, man. Got very, very close there. Rapper says, science shows that real women think woke men are gross, and the men find woke women gross too. It's science. Harabentho says, did you ever see the clip of Ezra trying to pressure Gal Gadot into saying woke catchphrase that he had come up with? She handled it with class. She did. I remember this quote, and it was fantastic. It really was. She basically just said no. She smiled, and she refused to do what Ezra Miller wanted to do. Yeah, Ezra Miller, dude, is another one of those ridiculous people. Oh, my gosh. Captain Dean Heist says, Jacqueline Smith, one of the original Angels. Okay, well, there you go. I don't know the original Angels TV show. That's probably why I don't understand it. Holy crap, dude. Oh, man. Well, Mr. Peabody, we're already at time, but with that, man, I have to go because I am going to say something that I shouldn't say in public. Because if there's one thing that can piss me off, it's that kind of nonsense. When not only are you making your film woke, when you're not only trying to push a feminist agenda, but then you're trying to actively promote the death of innocent children, that's a line too far. That's a line too far. That's one of the reasons why Girls, the show, is a garbage show, because within one of the first few episodes, they go to an abortion clinic and they start telling jokes. And I'm thinking to myself, no. You cannot take something that is all about murder of innocent children and try and bring it into levity by you trying to say, you see, it's not that bad because we made jokes there, right? So we're bringing levity to it. Isn't it funny? No, it's not funny because children are being killed. You insane... I'm going to hold off. Animation commentator, Brian P., the Chinaman, Dion, Edward Coleman, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, please, Father, pray a prayer of exorcism over this movie, because seriously, they need it. Frank the Tank and the Shaw Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, JJ Jonathan Jarenbeck, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Orange at Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Patrick Layden, Perpetual Punster, Riv Magos, Rosetta Allen, Sir Lancelato, Theodora Bendon, the DJD Show, Those Two Ball Guys, and US Dutch Kitty. Thank you for being my November patrons. You are amazing and beautiful people. Also, a huge shout out to my Subscribe Star subscribers as well. We got Larry, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, T2 Cool 99, Darkstar 57, Laura Story, Alice McCarthy, US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebadon G. Adams, and the K-Man. You are all amazing and beautiful people. Trying to see if we've lost anyone else. I don't think that we have at this point in time. But you guys rock. Let's see. Any last minute comments before we leave? Captain Poppyton, thank you for the ice cream donation, man. I appreciate it. Captain K-Man, thank you for the lemon donation as well. Let's see. Last minute comments. 70B says, don't slip up. YouTube is listening. Yes, they are. Alex McCarthy, Elizabeth Banks is a disgrace, and I pray for her. Seriously, she needs our prayers at this point, for sure. Jeremy Swiggs, I think I know what you want to say because I want to say the same thing. Kuz Fraba. What? Father Christopher Miller says, I can only do so much. Well, do everything that you can, Father, please. Let's see. Father Christopher Miller says, any chance you could stream a little longer on Saturdays? I barely got on this weekend before it ended. Well, I stream about an hour and a half. So I think that's pretty long. My back thinks that's long enough. I will do everything that I can, Father, though. Saturday streams should be a little bit longer, I understand, because it is the weekend. But I usually stop when I know my wife's going to bed, because these walls are paper thin and she hears everything I say and she cannot deal with that. Let's see. Hara Bentho, a few years ago, there was a pro-abortion TV ad featuring actors reading true abortion stories written by anonymous women. Elizabeth Banks was one of those actresses. Well, it helps to explain why she's putting this terror and disgusting nonsense into her film. Hypernext13, I'm usually happy it's flopping. It deserves a flop. I usually don't sound that harsh. Sorry, no, it does. After finding that out about the film, the fact that it deals with trying to support an abortion clinic, yeah, I hope this movie loses every cent. I hope this movie is a complete bomb. I would be happy if this film ended her career as a director. Because I'm sorry, that is disgusting that you would put that in as a freaking plot point. Alex McCarthy says, God bless you, Odin. Have a great night. God bless you, good sir, man. Christopher Mills says, Charlie's Angels or Charlie's Angels? No. Mills, naughty. No, bad. Neither Christopher Mills. Both are bad for you for very different reasons. Grandmaster Yoda says, let's hope Brian flops too. Yes, indeed. Please. Superman Gamer, Elizabeth Banks needs Jesus. Yes, she does. Absolutely. Father Christopher Miller says, during my mass. Well, Father, I'm sorry that your mass had to be in the way of my... I'm kidding. I'll do everything that I can, Father. Captain Wingster says, Odin, those are rookie numbers. EFAP does multiple. Oh, trust me, I know. I could never do what EFAP does. Jeremy Swiggs, please tell me you know the anger management quote. I do not. Alex McCarthy says, back health is greater than streaming. That is true. The rapper, I hear that some people don't get what we mean by keeping woke politics out of kids' movies when they argue that kids' shows have been political. Again, but having political moments is not the same thing as being a political show. Christopher Mills says, no, which would sell. Captain Wingster, Odin, why get... All right, yeah, no, Captain Wingster, there's very few things that I don't like jokes about. That's one of them. I know you didn't know that, but that's one of the things that I will not read that comment because I don't think it's funny. Captain Daniel Thorne over on DLive, thank you for the 3 lemon donations, man. I appreciate it. Mr. Peabody says, I made a vid but didn't post. We'll post it as you can see, but we'll probably take it down after a bit. Okay, I'm imagining that it has something to do with the movie. Peabody then says the original clinic was shut down by MI6. Probably rightly so, because it sounds to me like they are much better. All right. Anyway, you guys are freaking awesome. Thanks for being here tonight. I know that Doomcock was streaming tonight. I know the High Council is starting pretty soon too. So thank you so much for choosing to be here tonight. You guys are freaking awesome. I love you. Black Friday deals are going to be very good this year. Alita Battle Angel is going to be available for like $12.99 on 4K, I think. So very, very good deal on that. I think the Blu-ray might be like less than $10. So if you've not bought it yet or you want to buy it for a friend, Black Friday, you can get it online. Is going to be available for that. A lot of other movies too. The Shining is going to be available on 4K for $12.99. That's a movie that I plan to pick up on Black Friday, online or in store. And hopefully I'll be able to do some filming in a store while I'm on vacation. But family comes first, always comes first. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, 70B, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for keeping mod over the chat. While Tina is out, you're awesome. Give some shout out, give some snaps or some claps for Stephanie tonight because she's awesome. DLive fam, you know how it is. I'll take care of y'all in a second. YouTube fam, I love you guys so much. You guys are awesome. High Council, I'm not sure whose channel is on today. I'm assuming it's going to be on World Class, but I cannot confirm that. I'm sure one of my Valks, I'm sure that Steph or someone in the chat will be able to help with that. Anyway, you guys are freaking awesome. I love you guys. Have a wonderful night. And as always, God bless.